luxury real estate in Pierce County. What do you know about that? Like, when we think about Pierce County real estate, we might not always consider or think about the luxury market. And what we're going to talk about today is just that. With all the water we have around here, the Puget Sound, we have waterfront properties. We have, even out in Key Center, there's a lot of waterfront properties. We just have lots of waterfront and lots of luxury and high-end homes in communities and things of that nature here in Pierce County. So despite what people might think, there is tons of luxury properties in Pierce County. And today we are going to talk about those with our resident expert. But before we get to that, I want to invite you to subscribe to the podcast. And, we're just going to keep going. And thank you again to South Sound Magazine. They shouted us out inside Abode podcast. Last year, we were nominated for an Innovator Award with Inman. So this podcast is kind of, it's a labor of love, but I love the guests we have. I hope that you get something out of it. And today is no exception. So I want to just get into my guest today so we can get going on this conversation. So our guest today, ladies and gentlemen, 20 years in real estate. She runs a team, a very successful team, I might add. Last year had a great year last year. Definitely professionally had a great year. She'll probably tell you some other things. And then recently, last year was at Genuine Hustle, highlighted and spoke there. And she's now on the Windermere Luxury Advisory Board. So that's a big deal. And then also to add to that, her daughter's getting married this year. So it's a big year in that regard. And this is Nightwave's biggest fan, ladies and gentlemen. So Nightwave, if you're listening, this is your biggest fan. With that, Miss Hurst, thank you for joining the Inside Abode podcast once again. How you doing?
I'm doing well. And Dave, thank you for having this opportunity for us to have conversations. I don't know any other brokerage that's offering this, and it's always interesting to listen. You bring great perspectives, and I'm just really honored that I get to be part of this situation right here. So thank you for having me.
Oh, well, thank you for the kudos. I appreciate that. And I'm just curious. I'm just a curious person, and I just want to learn more because I was in a podcast not too long ago, and the person had a doctorate, and I was just like, okay, you're the smartest person in the room, so tell me more about whatever. And it doesn't even matter if you have a doctorate or not. Like, you all are so knowledgeable, and I don't think our agents, especially at Abode, don't give yourselves enough credit for how much you know. Because I sit here and I listen, and you guys know so much. And I think it's like, yeah, let's bring some of these conversations out in the open for people to learn from you. So that's why we do it.
It's great.
Anyway,
appreciate it.
Yeah. Tell people about yourself that don't know.
Heidi
You've been on here you've been on here a few
Yeah.
times, but
Yeah, my hair is extra big today. I could go to Texas and fit right in. I am Heidi Hurst. I run a team. I've got an awesome teammate, Alyssa Ulrich, and Kelly Devlin is now on the team and learning all about real estate. I love what I do. It's the people, not the price. I have just been reminding people all the time. So while we're talking luxury today, I was on a panel with Windermere last year, and people are like, how to break into luxury? What's your secret? And it's just serving people. And serving people and serving people. And if they get into that bracket, then that's great, but you're providing exceptional service. And so they're just going to come back to you when they want to move up, or if they have a friend who's in that space. So, I didn't start out selling $1 million homes. I have just worked for 20 plus years trying to serve people with the best of my ability. I love my dog. I love my girls. My youngest one's getting married. And so I feel blessed. I just got back from a week-long trip in London around Thanksgiving time with them, and my youngest one's fiance, Kurt. So it was a great time.
Wow.
I came back energized, and like real estate rewarded me for my vacation because I came back and was just working over the holidays. Yeah.
What was your favorite part about London?
My favorite part about London was, we can get all teary, was watching my two daughters with their cell phones, because they were the navigators, because I'm old and I have to put my glasses on and I got to figure out where I am and their brains are snapping, was the two of them with their heads together, working. Should we take this line? Should we take that line? Being collaborative and loving of each other. That was my best part of London. And then Kurt and I watching the Cat and Ken show, I like to say.
Yeah.
having him along as part of the family. I mean, he's been part of the family for quite a while, but it was just good to be in their space and energy in a new place and be curious. I also like the shopping, so
Yeah, yeah. You came
yeah,
back with some dope shoes, like those.
yeah,
Those
yeah.
They're printed. There's a what is that?
Red
A
patent
leopard
leather,
print,
yeah,
patent leather. I don't
boots.
know what you came back with, but
Hmm.
they're fire shoes. I was like, man,
Yeah,
those are nice. Oh, the sweats too. You came back with
yeah,
the sweats. Anyway, you came back with some really cool stuff.
yeah,
Today, we're going to talk luxury real estate, and congratulations, you're on the Windermere Luxury Advisory Board. So that's cool.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
so you're our resident, I mean, you always have been, but you're a resident luxury expert, and you have a lot to share. So today we're going to learn a little bit more about the luxury market.
Yeah, great.
So when you talk about luxury market in Pierce County, what do we mean by that? Like, what does that mean?
Yeah.
Luxury in Pierce County.
We always start with price point, right?
Hmm.
So I would say in different areas in Pierce County, $1 million house or an $800,000 house might be very luxury, but through the Windermere program, we have minimum pricing standards. So I'll just say that with all the homes, there's currently 163 homes for sale over $1 million in Pierce County. And so if you look at all of these, right, they're not all luxury properties. They have probably pretty cool features. They're on land, they're on waterfront, etc., but they may not be a luxury style home. And how
Okay.
I'd like to just define luxury is like finer finishes, really just dialed in, maybe a feature, an exterior feature, more things of what a luxury buyer is looking for. And
Okay.
I sure hope I can come back. We did have our Windermere Luxury Breakfast on Wednesday, and we got kind of the inside scoop on what they're predicting for 2026 with luxury, but they asked us not to share that yet.
Yeah.
Darn it. And so
Dang,
I
next
want to
time
be
we're gonna have to have you back
respectful.
on again. Yeah.
But I thought it was really fascinating, and I'll talk about it in an office meeting at some point once they officially release it. But does it have the amenities? Does it have the lifestyle? Luxury is really looking for what they're buying as a true reflection of who they are. And I
Okay.
think that goes all the way down into
Yeah,
into the
100%.
home, into my home, right? So it's not necessarily that, but they really want like a coffee station in their house, or really focus on that spa bathroom
Mm,
and kind of that hotel life experience in your own home. So this elevated rooms, decor, art, all of that is what I would consider a luxury property. And somebody's been maintaining their home and keeping it updated. So that's
okay.
what I would
Yeah,
consider.
so like for me, and everyone's different. For me, a luxury item would be, hey, there's a basketball hoop and a slash gym inside of the house. Like
Yeah.
I would love that. Or a
Hmm.
steam room. It don't even got to be that big. A steam room
Right.
would be nice. My
Right.
bathroom converted to a steam room. And
Yeah.
we've walked through a couple properties like that, but
Hmm.
yeah, for me that would be a luxury item. So I guess
Right.
everyone's different, but
Right. Yeah.
yeah, that's good. So, and you mentioned the numbers too. What were those numbers again? You said there were how many
Currently, there's
active?
163 homes in all of Pierce County that are
Oh,
over $1
okay,
million,
over a
all the
million.
way from $1 million up to 12.8 million that is listed in Gig Harbor.
Wow.
Right.
Okay. And of those, how many are under contract or pending?
So let's go to
Does
this
it
number.
say?
Oh, yes, it does say there are currently 5 contingent offers, which means
Interesting.
the buyer wants to buy the house, but they need to sell their own property first before they can purchase this new property. It's contingent
Okay.
upon them selling their home. We have 10 that are pending inspection, which means the buyer is under contract and they are working through their we call it due diligence, inspection of the property, trying to find out everything that they can so they can make an informed decision as they move forward. And then 12 are pending, which means they are under contract and they're through that inspection process, and either they're waiting to close or they're waiting for an appraisal, financing, etc. So 22 currently
Mm,
that are solid, looks like they're going to close out of 163. And
okay.
most of the ones that are under contract, just for perspective, out of those 22, there are 3 that were listed and sold within, under 10 days.
Wow.
So if you look at this,
That's
you're
interesting. And
seeing,
we're in January, though. That's
yeah,
what, okay.
yeah. And we're seeing last year's inventory being, getting under contract. So if you're
Okay.
looking at these pendings, except for 7 or 8 of them, they were all from last year's inventory and cycling through. So that's
Interesting.
under last year.
Interesting. Yeah, and have you seen, I mean, this isn't necessarily a luxury specific question, but it looks like based on what you just said, this probably applies to the upper end market as well. Like, were there people who took their listings off of the market last fall prior to the holiday
Right.
season and then decided to come back on in January once the year turned?
Yeah.
Did you see any of that at the end of last year or for you in your experience?
Not in my personal experience. My
Okay.
homes, we listed 2 homes in December. They both sold in multiple offers.
Wow.
One was 2 weeks before Christmas, one was at Christmas, and then I've cycled through all of my inventory except some land, the buildable land on the water in Gig
Okay.
Harbor.
Wow.
So I've gone through all of my inventory that I currently have from last year. Yeah, it either sold or got under contract.
That's
As
impressive.
of the beginning of January in Pierce County, we listed 38 more homes. So from
Mm,
January 1st until now, 38 in all of Pierce County. And it's everywhere. Graham, Lake Tapps, Gig Harbor, Tacoma,
okay.
Edgewood, Fox Island,
Uh-huh.
Spanaway, Bonnie
Uh-huh.
Lake, so Puyallup, all of those. And then the pendings are still the same. So as of the beginning of the year, of these 22, 1, 2, 3, 4 sold in less than a week. So they were listed and
Okay.
sold
Wow.
in less than a week. And yeah.
That's that's interesting. That stat right there that you just
Mhm.
pointed out, that's interesting as we're in January and we haven't gotten we're still a little ways off of our like peak spring season. So
Right.
that bodes well for sellers, it seems like,
Hmm.
moving forward. I'm not saying all sellers because it does matter where you're priced and the prep of your home and all of those things and location and all the things. In terms of a general market, like for that to be the case in January in Pierce County is pretty good in my I don't know.
Yes.
I don't know. I think just
I would support that. Clients all the time ask me, when's the best time to put my house on the market? We start in September, October having these conversations. And I always tell them, when you start the beginning of a new year, the buyers are ready to go. They're like, we decided, we've been with the family, we're not with family, we don't want to commute as much, work, lifestyle, all of those things. And they hit the beginning of the year running. Sellers have just gotten through the holidays. And like, okay, now we have to get our house ready for the market. Now we got to pack up, we got to paint, we got to do all of these things. And so we tend to have more buyers this time of the year and fewer listings.
yep.
And this told us over $1 million, there are buyers out there that made a commitment on these homes.
Yeah.
So as you get into like the spring market, sellers are more ready to, get their house on the market, and the buyers, are usually the same unless you take out the pandemic years, right? Um,
Yep.
Over 20, almost 21 years, you kind of see this pattern. So we tend to have more inventory, but we also have more sales like in April, May,
Yep.
June, et cetera.
Yep.
So, it's fairly cyclical, except for the pandemic years. I will always give that caveat.
That was different. So we're talking about million and up properties.
Hmm.
And within Windermere, we have a program called the Premier
Yes.
Program. So, and you mentioned earlier about like the special attributes about a home or special things about a home. What's the difference between, say, luxury and a premier property? Like,
Right, right.
how does a seller benefit from being a premier property versus a luxury property?
Absolutely. It's a great question. And people, pay attention. Here we go. I got some good info for you. A Windermere Premier property was put together this Premier program, and we also have what's called W Collection, which is $3 million and over. And while
Yep.
we do have some $3 million homes, right, in Pierce County and above, that's mostly true kind of on the east side and Seattle. So
Okay.
the Windermere Premier program was set up to showcase the premier properties that we're listing underneath the Windermere brand. And I'm going to go into, you know, how that's advertised and what that looks like. But as a Windermere luxury advisor, and we have many luxury advisors in our office, so I am not the only one. There's 5 or 6 other people that are luxury advisors. And so if I have a property that I think is a premier property, I have to take that to another broker that is a luxury advisor, and they have to review the photos, the staging, the condition of the property. Is it finished? Is the landscaping just dialed in? It has to be premier versus just, it also has to hit a minimum price point. But most areas of Pierce County is $1 million-ish. So there's some that are lower. There's some that are, like 1.2, 1.3. So with that premier property, it's not just the price. It is, how is the drive up to it? Are there trim all painted beautifully? Are
Right.
there nicks here? Are there, big holes in the wall? It can't be just this $1 million property. Does it have upgraded finishes? Does it have stone counters? Does it have tile backsplash? Does it have that spa-like bathroom that's been updated? So it is a
Okay.
home that somebody could just walk into and be able to create for themselves their own experience in their own home.
That makes sense because so basically like the touches on the like the special unique characteristics of a house that bring it up a notch, I guess if I were
Right.
to put it in layman's terms or based on what I'm
Right.
hearing you say.
Yes.
Because like yeah, we do have over $1 million properties that are great properties, like obviously, but
Right.
it might be the location is, might have a view, right?
Right.
Does that necessarily make it a premier property just because it has a view? Like, I
No.
don't know. Like those are yeah, okay. Just
It's
making
not.
sure.
It's the overall presentation of the home. So is it
Got it.
staged? I mean, you can list a mid-century modern home that hasn't been fully updated, but the siding is in beautiful shape. The landscaping is dialed in. The paint throughout is dialed in. It doesn't have maybe a 1960s or 70s, stove in
Mhm.
there unless it's like a really cool one that somebody's been maintaining. It's, the appliances are updated. There's those finer finishes
Okay.
appropriate for the home too.
Right. So okay. So let's say that I am like let's say I live in Old Town or I live in wherever and I do have a premier property.
Yes.
What what's the difference between that and like if we just listed it regular? Why should I potentially have what's the
Right.
premier property designation mean?
Right.
Like what does that
Well,
seller get out of that?
thank you for asking that question. First of all, I want to say that Windermere is part of leading real estate conglomerate.
Okay.
Leading real estate is fairly selective in the brokerages that they choose. They choose
Okay.
brokerages and companies that are really powerhouses in the local market.
Yep.
And are they a good solid company? Do they know all the ins and outs of their current market? And so you don't get to just be in leading RE. There is a subgroup in there which is called Luxury Portfolio International. And a Windermere Premier property. Okay, let me backtrack. So, Luxury Portfolio International gives these smaller brokerages that are so focused on their local information and knowledge, etc. It gives them an umbrella to advertise and market to a more broader audience.
Okay.
Okay. I
Yep.
don't have the current stats, but I know that every year when they come out with the current stats about Windermere Premier Properties versus some of the other brands in our local market, Windermere sells more luxury homes than any other brand in the Pacific Northwest. So that's one
Okay.
thing.
Yep.
And also, our premier status allows for Luxury Portfolio International to go to Rob's report, right? So it
Okay.
goes out to all of these, not international, but national. Our premier properties and our W collection properties are shown and showcased. So it allows for this expansive opportunity for marketing above and beyond, what other brands can do. So that is
Okay.
one of the best things about being part of the Windermere brand, is that we're so locally focused, we're very knowledgeable, but we have this avenue in order to be able to promote our luxury properties
Got it.
and showcase them.
That's really so that is an advantage, having sellers or just being more visible, for one, and also in different markets too. Because one thing I think is interesting about the luxury market, or even just shifting our conversation over to the buyers, like what type of buyers are we talking about? And are they, like, I think we have conversations about how they're impacted by the markets, for
Right.
example, like stock
Sure.
market and things of that nature.
Hmm.
How, especially with our markets being so volatile right now, but even though the stock market's not volatile, the S&P 500 is like all-time highs right now, and gold is, precious metals are as well. So I keep track of those markets because like I'm interested in it for one, but I think it is important to know what is going on over there because have you seen that a lot of your buyers are participating in the markets as well and maybe have to draw money from there, or like that's where maybe some of their wealth is or
Right,
whatever.
right. I think that is true in some sense. I think that there is a level, though, of wealth that doesn't has more money that they don't really have to worry about
Right.
the market.
It's not even a thing.
I have a certified luxury home marketing specialist designation, and I'm in that group of professionals across the country, and they send out reports with this information in it. And when you get to a certain level of financial security and abundance, you're not really caring too much about the
Yeah.
market.
Yeah.
So I would say, like, if you're in that million, I wish I could give the stats from the report that came out, but if you have, enough disposable income, some people will be affected by that. I have seen that in not
Yeah.
necessarily $1 million home, but people who have or who are paying attention to that and making sure that they're not going to lose a lot of money. Luckily, we did
Right.
have a
Right.
downturn last spring, right, in
Mm-hmm.
the stock market.
Yeah.
We were having that conversation with our buyers. Is this a good time to buy? We just lost a lot of money. Should we just ride it out? So I think that is a relevant conversation, Dave. I also think if you're looking at a property where you are concerned about the stock market, you're also paying attention to interest rates. We are
Right.
having a lot
Right.
more cash sales, but you're also paying attention to interest rates and how much money are you going to need to put down in order to, right? Interest rates go up, buyers pull back a little bit, they go down, buyers are coming into the market more so, they feel a little bit more confident. And so I think that's a relevant conversation as well, besides just the stock.
Yeah, no, thank you. That's great clarification because I think that's the way I hear that is just like, yeah, some people, for those that have the abundance, it's more about money preservation. Like there's this pot of money over here. Most times people are diversified, I would imagine, and they have their portfolios are diversified, whether it's real estate, stocks, or businesses or
Mhm.
commercial real estate they
Yeah,
may own, or a building or whatever.
right.
And so that's just interesting way to look at it. Just thinking about the buyer side of things. I know we
Right.
talk a lot about the seller, but yeah, I'm just curious about the buyers and the type of buyers that we're talking about as well. So
Yeah.
yeah, thanks for that insight. That helps me. So is there anything else that you're burning to talk about or update people on the luxury market in Pierce County?
I think I've spoken my piece about the luxury market. I think there's
Okay.
a lot of people, as you're going out consumer and talking to listing brokers and interviewing professionals, to have that conversation of, what is your experience in the luxury market? What added information can you provide? What type of marketing? Now, I'm going to do a little caveat on that because my experience in selling high-end luxury homes in Pierce County is that most people are local. They are here, they're local to the area. Some come from other states, true, yes, believe that, but they're working with a local professional. And so that local professional needs to also understand how to market. So when we talk about July and we talk about Rob's report and we talk about Wall Street Journal and all of that, that helps those people who are actually coming into the area or doing their research. It
Right.
gives you home, even if they're coming from, Tacoma to Gig, it gives your home a lot more internet interest. So if somebody is searching for something specific, because you're out there on all those additional platforms in this space, your buyer is most likely going to find your home in that space.
Interesting. Okay. That's good. Good to know.
Mhm.
This has been a lot of good information, like from the market data for million and up to sellers, Windermere Premier. What else do we talk about? Buyers, buyer profile a little bit.
Mhm.
This was good. This was a very comprehensive look at the luxury of Pierce County housing market. So thank
Yeah.
you. I appreciate that. Are
You're
you ready
welcome.
for the next segment?
I'm ready
Fill in
for
the
the
blank.
next segment. Let's go.
All right. So thank you. And if you want any more information on the luxury information that we just shared, make sure you hit up Heidi Hurst and the information will be down there. All right. Next segment. This is called Fill in the Blank. All right. It's Oscar season, which is very, very, very fun for me. I love watching the Oscars. I don't know why. Mostly because I probably forgot I didn't watch some of the movies. And so we always have to go back and watch some movies that we missed.
Mhm.
But I don't know. I just like watching people win things, like,
Yeah.
and being happy. Like, I don't know. There's something about that awards
Yeah.
shows. I watched what was the other one that was just on the other night, or I don't know, a couple weekends ago. I always just
Right.
stop on it and I just love watching them. So anyway, the first question is, the movie or show I've rewatched an embarrassing number of times is blank.
Well, I don't know about that I've rewatched, but I am on season 14 of ER.
Wow. Season
I have
4.
committed to the ER experience.
Is it because of the
Noah
pit?
Wiley was on that. He was in the pit, and George
Okay.
Clooney, and now
Yeah.
John Stamos is like
Yeah.
season 13, 12 on. So it's such an up and coming show. And so fun to like watch. I'm kind of getting tired of it. So thank goodness it's like season 14 and a half, but I've committed to ER. How's that?
ER. It's interesting. Like the whole genre of hospital movie or
Hmm.
hospital shows is
Right.
fascinating to me. And
Yeah.
I've never watched any of them. Is the pit going to be the one that makes me watch? I don't
Yeah.
know.
Oh, yeah.
Could be. Stay
Sign right
tuned.
up. Do it.
Stay tuned.
Yeah.
All right. If my life had a theme song right now, it would be blank.
Theme song.
Or
It's
it could
gotta be
be
a
just
Chris.
something that
It's
you
gotta
like
be a
listening
Chris
to.
Stapleton song. I gotta think about that.
Okay. Anything so a Chris Stapleton song. That's fine.
Yeah, I'm a big
That's
Chris
okay.
Stapleton fan. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. So this is a fun one. The celebrity or public figure I'd want to have dinner with is blank. It doesn't have to be a celebrity, public figure,
Yeah,
or
I'd
someone
like
that
to
you
sit
just
down with
admire.
Barack Obama.
That would be fun. That would be fun. I would like
That's
to do that.
yeah.
Honestly, that'd be super dope. All right. The pop culture moment that still lives rent free in my head is blank.
Oh, dude, I'm old, man. I'm in my 50s. Pop culture moment. Well, this is going to show you how old I am. I don't know if it's pop culture, but I grew up on the beginning of MTV, right? When MTV was a thing. And I remember sitting around, which is so relevant today to my friends in my community, but sitting around and watching Boy George,
Oh yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And trying to
Yep.
figure out, like, was he a boy? Was he female? Was he male? And then my mom bought me tickets to go see Boy George. That was my first concert. And
Wow.
and Culture Club down in Hollywood,
Culture
California, because
club.
that's where I lived. And I went there with my brother, my older brother, and his two other friends. So I got these brothers. Anyways, it was fun. It was a great experience. So I always can go back to that. Yeah.
You know what I was thinking about right there and how I would answer that question? Because I always think about how I would answer these because they're hard when they're like, you don't know what's coming. And I'm
All
sitting
right.
here looking at them. So, but for me, the most recent one that just is still kind of like, wow, I can't believe that happened. Well, there's plenty of them happening every day right now. But
Right.
Will Smith slapping Chris Rock, like that to me was such a WTF moment. I was like, wow, he just handled that. It was just fascinating. My
Yeah.
jaw was on the floor. I thought it was fake forever. I thought it was
Yeah.
fake.
Yeah.
It wasn't.
It
But yeah,
wasn't.
that was pretty crazy. Like when you
Yeah.
go back and watch that, it's just like, wow, that really happened. I don't think I've ever seen
Yeah.
that before.
Yeah.
Yeah, just a dude getting slapped on
Yep.
stage. That's crazy.
In front of all these people. Yep.
Yeah.
And how do you come back from that as
I
Will Smith.
Chris,
I don't know.
yeah, I mean, he has, but Chris Rock has handled like both. It's just sad. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
It's just like, huh, that's sad. Sad way to
Right.
go out.
Yep.
Anyway, if my current season of life were a TV genre, it would be blank.
Well, if that was 2025, it would have been a horror show.
It's not 2025 though. It's 2026.
Right now, it would be a comedy. It would be fun. It would be what TVs used to be. We used to go to TV and we used to get meaningful, like you'd watch a show and it made you feel good. That's why Ted Lasso and Hacks
Yeah.
and all these other shows are so popular because we're looking for that lightness. We're looking for that positivity in a world where it's just an effing shit show and our
Hmm.
country's driving it. So I am
Yep.
the energy for me this year is I'm here for it. I'm here for all of it. And the sun is out. That's the
Yeah.
difference of
The sun.
2026 is the sun has been out in the Pacific Northwest.
It has. It's been a great month this year. I mean,
Yeah.
I bought a big old bomber jacket, like a new jacket that's super thick and a new puffer basically. And I haven't really had to use it that much just yet. I'm knocking on wood because I know in
Mhm.
February I will have to.
Mm-hmm.
And I still have to now. But still,
Right.
it's just like I've been walking outside with a hoodie on and
Yeah.
kind
It's
of been
been
okay.
nice. Yeah.
So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, knocking on wood on that one. But yeah, thank you. That's the 5 questions I have. So I'm
Good
with you.
stuff.
I think this 2026 should be, we have to make our own happiness and we can't
Yeah.
depend on external things to create happiness for us or else we're going to
Right.
be cooked
Yeah.
because it's not happening out there.
Yeah.
But
Not
it
at
is
all.
happening in our communities and it actually
Yeah.
is happening. It just might not be on the algorithms. That's all I'll say.
Exactly.
It might
Yeah.
not be in the algorithms, but it is happening, and we have to go
Yeah.
seek that out and find
Yeah.
it in real life.
Let me just say, I was at South Sound 100 on Wednesday night, and it's
Mhm.
a place where 100 people come together and we listen to local nonprofits present and why they need the money. And the tears in that room
Yep.
were just heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking. And then to be able to, commit your money and make a collective gift to a local nonprofit, that's what fills our soul. We only do that 4 times a year, but like, let me tell you, I'm still feeling really good about that and
Good.
sad for the reason why we have to give it. I think it was a literacy action fund where they tutor people who don't speak English so they can navigate what's happening right now. I mean, it
Oh
was
man,
it was
it's
tearful, let me tell you. So
yeah. Thank
yeah.
you for doing that and doing that because like even the boards that I'm on, we've seen $1 million slashes, multi-million-dollar slashes in funding last year,
Yeah.
which is just
Yeah.
crazy
Right.
for backbone services and organizations that help our businesses and help our schools and help our hospitals and help our police forces and just all these different nonprofits and they're just being whittled away, which
Yeah.
is just it's sad. And to watch the ICE budget, balloon. I saw a graph and it was just like, and it's not even about like take all of the sensational headlines out.
Right.
The budget is like out of whack. It's like, okay, 2 billion to 10 billion or
Yeah.
15 billion. It's just, I don't know, those aren't real numbers, but
Right.
in terms of the
I
graph
know.
and what it looked like, it was just like, that's kind of crazy.
Right.
While pulling from our infrastructure, our schools, just things like that. It's just like, huh, interesting. So,
Yeah. Well, I'm
yep,
grateful to be part of Abode. Everybody in that office has some type of community service that they're backing and they're supporting either separately or as a collective in our office. So I'm grateful that we get to be part of that. Thank you
yeah,
for your
same.
leadership.
I'm
and
grateful to be
hands.
part of it as well. So it's bigger than me. It's bigger than us.
Right.
It's a thing. So thank you for coming on and talking to us about the luxury real estate market in Pierce County. Where can people hear more or learn more
Ah.
about the luxury real estate market in Pierce County?
They can reach
From
out
you.
to me, Heidi Hurst. Google the Heidi Hurst Team or Bing it or whatever path you're on, your search engine. Would love to start a conversation about it. I will have some more information I can share after Luxury Portfolio releases their study that they did at the end of last year, which I thought was fascinating. I cannot wait to share it. You can call me. I would love to just have a conversation about pretty much anything, but real estate is great and I love what I do. I've been doing it a long time. So I bring a passion and I've got great support with the office and my team. So let's just talk about it.
Cool. You can talk to them about London. You can tell them about London and all the
Yeah.
places to go, London Bridge,
Yes.
all that.
Yes.
Yeah.
All that stuff.
All right,
Yeah.
cool. Well, thank you. And for those of y'all who are listening, make sure you hit that subscribe button for more great information. And then also, if you're a new listener, welcome. Thank you for listening, and we'll be back. So thank you, and we'll see y'all next time inside
Okay.
Abode.
Bye, everybody. Thanks, Dave Jones.
You're welcome.